Are you a determined and ambitious woman entrepreneur seeking to elevate your selling skills? Then I have a training for you. It's called How Any Woman Can Confidently Close Any Deal in a One-on-One Sales Call in Any Business or Industry. In this training, you'll be shown 3 techniques that you can immediately apply to your consultation calls and improve your close rate. This is a live training with me, and there's going to be an opportunity to ask questions. So come get yourself registered right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/close. Easy, right? Okay, I'm going to see you there.
Do sales conversations make you feel awkward or pushy? It's time to ditch the outdated salesy strategies. Your guide, Nikki will show you how to combine kindness with selling skills to meet your prospects where they are, and in the process, how to up-level your influence and income. Learn how to earn business easily and effortlessly. Here's Nikki.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Sales Maven Show. I'm your host, Nikki Rausch, here to offer you tips, techniques, and strategies to master your sales conversation. Today's episode is going to focus on the number one way to get better at selling. This is something that gets asked often. It comes up in conversation. Clients want to know what's the number one way to get better at selling. Now, you may have heard me say a really common phrase around here, which is implementers get results. And I was thinking about this in relation to a conversation that I had recently, and it reminded me of a favorite story of mine. Now, this particular episode, if you are somebody who doesn't like story, this episode is probably not for you. If you are somebody who likes stories, then stick around because you're my kind of people. And I love a story. I love the art of storytelling. I love everything about storytelling, frankly. And this is a story that I learned years ago. Now, just to give a little bit of background, I can't even tell you how many years ago now, but it was probably at least 15, maybe more. A good friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Hey, Nikki, I am going to take this class in the Redwood Forest. Do you want to come with me and spend the week there?" Now, I had no idea what the class was, but I love this friend of mine. She's been a great mentor. She's still a friend to this day. And I said, "Sure, I'll go, whatever it is." "Wait, do I have to camp?" And she said, "No, we can get a hotel down the road from the campsite, and we're going to take a storytelling class." And I was so nervous about taking a storytelling class, but I went because I wanted to hang out with my friend. And this class opened a whole new world to me of storytelling, and it ignited a love of story. We would go, I think the class was 5 days, and we would go every day. We would drive into this really beautiful campsite in the Redwood Forest. And if you haven't been to the Redwood Forest, those ginormous trees, they're so huge. So you just feel so small and insignificant in the universe. And there was this beautiful river that ran along the campsite. And on our lunch breaks, we would go and jump in the river, swim out to this big rock, jump off this big rock, come back, gather around the campsite again, and practice the art of storytelling. So I've been doing story for a while. I love stories. I use stories a lot when I teach. And this story came to mind, again, based on a conversation that I had with somebody recently. And I heard this story years ago. It was told to me by my NLP teacher. And it's the story of Miss LeBlanc. Miss LeBlanc lived in a neighborhood, and she was obsessed that to leave her neighborhood, like to drive to get out onto the main road, she would have to drive by her neighbors' houses. And one house in particular was filled with the most beautiful vegetation and flowers and just absolutely stunning. And every time she would drive by this house, she would feel a little envious. And one thing she was particularly drawn to in her neighbor's yard were the roses. She just thought roses were just the end all be all. And she was so envious of these roses that she finally got fed up and decided one day, I am going to grow my own beautiful roses in my yard and impress my neighbors. I'm so excited about this that I'm going to do everything I can to have the best roses in my neighborhood. So, Miss LeBlanc, she had quite a background. She actually was a teacher before she retired. And so she knew how to learn, she knew what to do. So her little like learning research brain came out and she just started diving in. She would watch YouTube videos. She would scour the internet for anything about roses. As a matter of fact, she went to Amazon and she ordered some of the best books on how to grow roses. She got the Roses for Dummies book. She got quite a few others. There were now magazines that she could order all about growing roses. There were articles that she could read, blogs about it, pictures. Oh, the pictures that she could find about growing roses. Beautiful, beautiful pictures. And she would go to bed each night thinking about what the roses in her yard were going to look like. They were going to be stunning. She had planned out what color of roses she wanted to grow. And so she would sometimes even wake up in the morning having dreamt of her planting and growing these beautiful roses. Sometimes she would dream about her neighbors that had the really beautiful yard coming down just to stand in awe and look at her yard. She was so excited about growing roses. And she would dedicate each morning when she got up, when she had her coffee in the morning, she would dedicate that time to learning more about growing roses. She would do more research. She would read sometimes from the books that she had bought, or she would flip through the magazines. And then, as she got closer to being ready to grow the roses, she decided to venture out to the garden center in her local town. Oh my gosh, she was so excited about going to the garden center. She went there and she got all the right things. Are you ready to uplevel your sales game? Well, here is a gift for you. It is the Mastering the Sales Conversation mini training. This training gives you my proven step-by-step approach to sales so that you can go from that overwhelmed and intimidated approach that you have to sales to feeling confident and leading a conversation so that you easily guide somebody to hiring you. You can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/mastering. This is my gift to you. Go grab it now. Now, I don't know much about growing roses, but I hear there's some things that you need. And these are some of the things that she bought. She got the shears that you needed. Oh my gosh, these really beautiful, cool looking shears. And then she even found the gloves, the gloves that go kind of high up and they're reinforced gloves. So you're not going to worry about, because the thing about roses is they have thorns and you'll get cut when you're, trimming back your roses. So she got these reinforced gloves and they were so great. They were pink. That was her favorite color. And at the top of the gloves, they even had an embroidered rose. Like, how perfect was that? These amazing gloves that she bought. She got a shovel. She even got the cute little knee pad thing because she just imagined herself being out there in the dirt, down on the ground. So she needed the knee pad. She got the apron. She even found this really beautiful, big, wide brim hat. She was pretty excited about this hat. She got a collapsible yard bin. I mean, she got it all. She got the little tote. And she came home and laid out all of her new wares. And oh my gosh, she was so excited about, growing roses. And, a couple weeks went by and she was still studying every day over her coffee. And then she decided, all this stuff that was laid out, she needed someplace to put it. So she went back to, Amazon and she ordered this really cool little storage bin that you could put all of your stuff in. And she found the perfect place right outside the back door of her house to put this storage bin. And she put all of her little things in there. So it was all organized. Oh my gosh, she was so ready to grow roses. And time passed. And more time passed. And every time she would walk by and she would see that storage bin, she just knew that inside that storage bin was all the amazing things that she had learned and gathered to grow roses. And more time passed, and years passed. And at some point, she passed. And so when her family came to clean out her house, they found this storage bin full of all these brand new things. The tags hadn't even been taken off. The price tags were still on the shovel, everything. And then they found in her house this whole shelf that she had dedicated to her books and her magazines about growing roses. And one of her kids said to one of the other family members, did mom like roses? And they were like, I don't know, but she has a lot of things about growing roses. That's the story of Miss LeBlanc and her deep desire to grow roses. Now, I know I started this episode out saying that the topic today is the number one way to get better at selling. You get to now decide, is the answer to that question? I guess the question is, what is the number one way to get better at selling? Is the answer to that question in the story? You get to decide. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. If you loved the idea of a story as a teaching tool, would you please let me know? I'd love to hear from you. If you want more stories, I love to tell stories. If you hated this episode, please let me know in the kindest way possible. Of like, Nikki, I really like your other episodes better, is a nicer way than sending me the hate mail about the story. So you get to decide if you like a teaching story. And if you like the story about the roses, it's yours now. You can do with it what you will. Wishing you continued success in all you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And I'll be back soon.
Thanks for listening to Sales Maven. Visit us online at yoursalesmaven.com/maven for more resources to boost your confidence and skills.
Are you ready to increase your confidence in your sales conversations? I have a gift for you that is going to show you exactly how to do that. It is my Closing the Sale ebook. It's all about leveling up your confidence, giving you language to use, how to seamlessly move somebody through the sales process. And you can get it right now by going to yoursalesmaven.com/Maven. Go grab it.